Welcome to Level Up with CMJ. Hey, my name is Joe, and this is my Craftsmaster Dice shooting journey. Let's make it yours too. So we're going to continue once again with our blue belt level. I have changed the table layout around a little bit here. We have our chip tray now, so you could simulate this as being the chip tray up here where you put your chips, and we're just going to use this for tracking purposes. We have our numbers here for simulating the dice, so that's a 5, 4, 2, 3, and that goes with the dice. We have a 5, 4, 2, and 3, and if we flip it this way, you have the 6. If you flip it the other way, you have the 1. Before we get started though today, what we're going to do is we're going to go through and I want to review our first 1,442 rolls that we've done so far. So that's all the blue belt rolls that we've done up to this point. So you look at our total toss column, we have 1,442. Our sevens, the roll ratio is 6.14, which is slightly a little bit more than what the expected is. And our box number to sevens is a 4.10. If you look at both of our dice on access, we're at 71.98%, which is a pretty high number. I guess 55 or better is actually what you want to do. Morning, Dylan. We have our single pitches, which is at 10%. Expected this at 22. Primary face hits is at 5.83, which is expected at 11%, 11.11. And our double pitches are at 74, which is 5.13%, and it's expected to be at 11.11%. So all those numbers right there are looking pretty good so far. Good morning, Chris. If you look at one die that's off axis, we're at 21.5%. Expected is 44%, so we're doing really good at that one. And if you look at the right and left die, they're dead even, 155 times they're off axis, both the left and the right piece. So there's not one that's dominant more than the other. And then we have both die off axis, which is 94 times, which is 6.52%. Expected is 11%. So if you look at all those numbers, we are basically cut almost every one of them in half, except for our both dice on axis, which is an extremely high number. If you look at our box numbers that we've hit, the across, the inside, outside, field, horn, world bets, almost every one of them are to be what is expected. So I'm at 60%, 67% of my across bets are hitting, and it's expected to be 60%. 50% for the inside. Outside, I'm doing a little bit better on those numbers, and I think it's basically because I'm hitting a little bit more fours than normal. Our field bets are up a little bit, horns are what are expected, and the world bet is what is expected. So let's get going here, guys. Let's get started. And I had a paper here of things I wanted to cover later, maybe. Yeah, I found it. Scribbling notes at work. So we'll throw this down here. That's my my idea of what I'll be doing later. But let's get started here, guys. We're going to do 100 rolls today. I'll see if we get it going pretty good because I did a lot of snow removal. Dylan's asking me if I got much new snow. We got about an inch last night, but I didn't do anything with it when I get home. So here we go. First roll of the day. And we start off with a 314. Big Joe from Craftsmaster Journey. That seems to be our starting number more often than not. So that's an implosion of that right dice. And let's get the roll tracker engaged here. So 314, and we're going to flip the 4 chip forward. Okay, and again, this right here, guys, is simulating tracking the rolls at the table. And this is something that we're practicing so that way when we actually do go to the casino, it's going to become a constant, a muscle memory type situation, rather than a variable that we have to think about nonstop. And another 314. So we're on the 4. We hit the point right away. And we will throw another chip out on that 4. Good morning, Navaldo and Mike. Good morning. So if you guys want, the people are just joining in. I went in the beginning of the live stream. I went through my roll results up through the end of yesterday. So we have 1,442 throws so far, plus the 2 that we've done today. That veered off to the right a little bit, and we got a 4, 6, 10, big bet on the end. And there we go. So that is an explosion of that left dice. We'll flip that 10 chip forward. So we got about 12 inches of snow yesterday. We got about an inch overnight. And I was snow blowing most of the time, or most of it yesterday. And my snowblower was not working like it should have been. 3, 5, 8. Left die took off a little bit and flew off to the left. So I did most of the snow removal with that snowblower that was not working that well yesterday. And then I had to go to another person's house to do their sidewalk, and I figured out what was wrong with it. But in the meantime, I was pressing down really hard with this part of my hand on both sides on the snowboard, and it feels like my hands are bruised right now. So spent probably about 2.5 hours yesterday removing snow. So not a good feeling. And we have a 6, 2, 8. So that's an implosion of that left die. And that's our second 8 that we've thrown for the day so far. I can show them again at the end of the show, Dylan. Again, I'm going to be probably contacting Alfredo today sometime and going through, and he's going to analyze the results as well with me. And then help me figure out dice sets that we can use going forward once we hit the purple belt. So we have a 617 out, medium first roll here, getting warmed up. So that's an implosion of the left dice and an implosion of the right dice. And we'll reset our chips. And we'll go. So that was 6 rolls for the first one. And 5, 2, 7, come out 7. And I almost said it again, guys. That one felt good coming out. It looked good going down. It looked good when it landed. And every time I say that, the damn 7 comes out. But hey, that was a come out 7, so that's all right. I even like the height of that one there. The landing zone looked like it would hit. It looked like everything was on that one. Left dice took off a little bit, but we got a 1, 4, 5. So our new point will be 5. And then I'm going to try to today, assuming I do well this morning, I'm going to try to see if I can do my second round of the international shooting competition today. So we'll go there and see maybe Alfredo can host me, or I'll see if anybody's available to host me, and we'll see what time we're going to do it. If I'm going to get a couple hours of sleep before I do it, or if I'm just going to do it right away after John's shows today, I have no idea what. And 617. That was a weird one. They came down, hit like they should have, but they both bounced really high and they went off to the left. Reset our chips. Let's get some consistency going here. Get the landing zone and the energy. We'll work on those two things today. The grip is starting to feel pretty comfortable with this fingertip grip rather than the finger pads. I went a little bit high, and we have a 3-4-7. So that's another come out 7. This is a double pitch though. Oh man, I'm not even thinking straight here, guys. Let's get her in the circle. There we go. So, a couple things we're going to go through. First thing, and this is probably the most important part of the announcements, is that we had a passing of one of our members of the craps community. His name was Joe the Coder. And I did not know Joe. I have not seen him on any of the shows or anything like that. But apparently he was a regular on Big AZ's craps nights. And I believe he was one of the original members of the Blue Wrench crew. So guys, I know that Jeff did a fundraiser yesterday. I think John might be doing something today as well. You know, keep him in your prayers, keep his family in your thoughts. And, you know, every time we have a loss of somebody in the craps community, even if you don't know them, even if you don't have any interaction with them, guys, we're all one. We're all part of one community, and we all support each other. So best of wishes and thoughts are going out to Joe and his family. We had 3 different shooters yesterday for the international shooting competition. A little bit low on that one. We have a 5-5 heart 10. Jeff and John went yesterday. They went during the Coffee and Craps show. And neither one of them did the best. I think John had a 6 for his max roll. Jeff had a 5, which is very unusual for the both of them, because the both of them, when they are practicing, actually trying to shoot, they actually do pretty well usually. That one felt a little bit long, but we have a 5-6 mid-bow yo. And then the other shooter that went yesterday was one of the HCS crews, one of the Hawaii Craps Shooter crews members. And the name has escaped me for some reason. And he had an 8. That was an 11, so we got to put a chip out for the 11. Veer it off to the left a little bit long. Well, we have a 2-6-8. So that would be that right die exploded. We'll flip the 8 forward. So 3 people went yesterday that I can recall. So we have half of the 32 shooters have gone already. I'm expecting the majority of them the rest of the majority will go this weekend. In the top 5 right now, we have a 2-1-3 shocker. The top 5 right now, I believe, have 15 or more rolls for their shots. And that's a 3, so we'll mark a 3. And the top 3 of them are in the high 20s, low 30s, or mid 30s, mid to low 30s. Mudslide Mac, I believe, is in first place. Magic Aces is in second place. Both of them have either 30 or 32, I think it is. And we have a 4-1-5. So it's looking like double digits will get you into the next round. And by double digits, I'm talking probably mid double digits, mid 15, 14, stuff like that. Good morning, Mike. So that's probably where I'm going to have to get, probably around that 14, 15 mark minimum in order to make it to the next round. And that was a 5, so we'll flip that 5 forward. And we have a 5, 4, 9, center field 9, single pitch. Kevin Midnight Turtle went last night too, and he actually had a good roll. I forgot about his. He had an 18 or 19, so that was a really nice roll. And that was a 5, 4, 9 we had. Bounced up a little bit high in that, but we have a square pair. 4, 4, heart 8. And that is our second 8 for the shooter. So throw a chip in there. Good morning, Durcell. Thank you for hitting the like button as he's asking you guys to do. Left dice took off a little bit, but we're back on that 8, 3, 5, 8. So that is our third 8 that we've hit on this shooter. And the last thing that I watched last night that I want to cover is Alfredo's talking craps with Alfredo again. Last night, a good show again, as usual. Whoa, terrible throw, guys. We lucked out. We have a mid-mo-yo, 6-5-11. That one went way long and way to the right. So that was an explosion of that left die. That'll be our second 11 for the shooter. And we're going on roll number 11 right now. So they did a lot of things on Alfredo's show last night. If you haven't checked it out yet, make sure you check it out. Lots of comical acts last night. Vince was on top form. Nemo was in top form. 246. A lot of people picking on a lot of people that were attending. It was a good show. That's our second. Oh, that was our first 6. Yes, that's our first 6 for the shooter. And then we went through. They were going through different people's YouTube channels. People are just starting out. So make sure, guys, support these people that are just starting on the craps community. People like Magic Aces. We have a 314 Big Joe. So make sure you check out Magic Aces, or CRC, or Nemo's. Craig from Old Bay Craps, and a lot of the people that are in the chat right now. That was a 4, so we'll flip that 4 over. And we are close to getting that small. All we need is the 2. And all we need to get the tall is the 12. A lot of people that are in the chat here. We got Skill and Luck. We got Dice Degen. Support these other channels, guys. Get out there, and if you haven't subscribed to them already, please do so. And we have a 5-4-9, center field 9, single pitch. So Vince was in top form talking about how he took a 30-minute video yesterday and tried cutting it up into 31-minute segments because he was trying to put out 30 shorts. And they only let him download so many before they kicked him out of YouTube for 24 hours. And he seemed to be a little upset about it. It was funny. We have a 1, 4, 5, no field 5. So that's an explosion of that left die. Throw a chip out there for our 5. That's our second 5 for this shooter. And we're on a point of 10 yet. This is going to be roll number 15. And big red, 527. Double pitch. So that was 15 rolls. And shipwreck is all set, reset. And we'll go again. This is going to be roll number 25. So let's, again, focus on the energy, focus on that landing zone. See if we can get a good rhythm going here. A little bit low on that one, but we have a 6-5 mid-bow yo. Still looking for a point, but that's a pass line winner on a come out. And that'll earn a chip on the 11th spot. And we have a 4-3-7 still coming out, I believe. Now it's a double pitch. It loses that 11 spot again for the ATS. For those of you who don't know, I'm a huge, avid high school wrestler fan. Unfortunately, my son did not finish the season this year, my youngest son. He probably would have made it to state. And the reason I bring that up is because yesterday, the state actually started state wrestling for high school in Wisconsin. Started 3-6-9. It's an explosion of the right die. And our local high school, this will be the second year they actually have a girls' state. And our local high school sent 2 girls to the competition. One of them is wrestling. The worst she could do is 6th place. She'll be wrestling it tonight. She won her first 2 matches. The other girl was not quite as fortunate. 4-3-7. 7, ouch. And the other one was not quite as fortunate. She did not make it past the first match. So, best wishes goes out to those 2. And we're coming out again here. Reset our chips. Now we're having a lot of double pitches here today, so we're going to refocus on our grip here, make sure we're on those fingertips. And they're not rolling right here. There we go. They're bouncing a little bit high today, too. 1-3-4, Big Joe. Bouncing a little bit high at the end there. So that's telling me I'm putting a little bit too much energy in those dice. So we got to tone that back a little bit. And we tone that back by either throwing a little bit lighter or throwing it slightly harder so there's a little bit more of an arch. Four, 3, 7. All good today here. Mike is saying that wrestling is one of the best skills for life, best sports for life skills, and I fully agree with that. When I get more time here, meaning if my job switches around a little bit, or if I can somehow manage it, I would like to be one of the wrestling coaches at the high school level. That's how much I do really like that sport. And it is really a character builder for these kids. 2-4-6, single pitch, come out 6. 6 is a point, easy 6. Flip that 6 over. Yeah, wrestling is very much. I am using a Uri grip. I call it a 3-finger front diagonal, but it is referred to as a Uri grip. So I am coming in just like this, fingertips on the edges of those dice. And now veer off to the right a little bit. We have a 2-1-3, shocker. So that's an implosion of that right die. And that earns a 3 chip. And the reason I use the Uri grip, and I've covered this a lot of times in the past, is that I first started trying doing the par, 3-finger par grip, and it was really hard for me to do that because you can kind of see it a little bit right here. The dice split on me. And a lot of it's because I have these big, fat, meaty fingers here. So I went to the Uri grip because it was easier for me to get into. Plus, I can get into it a little bit faster and not really have to look at it as much. I can basically go off of feel. And that has helped me quite a bit. So that's why I went with this grip. 3-1-4. Obviously, the easier you can make things when you're throwing a dice at the casino, at home, whatever, wherever you're doing it, the better it's going to be for you. So, and we have a 5-2-7. Short rolls today, guys. Short rolls. Hopefully we'll be able to string one together here somewhere. You have fat fingers as well, Duracell says. He switched to a 2-finger front par for the same reason. Yeah, some people, change it around that way. I have a hard time with the dice splitting apart too. So, I mean, you can go with the 2 fingers like this. You can go with, I think Jeff does something like this when he throws, either that or a ring finger. I'm not sure how he does that. But Jeff from Mid-Atlantic, I think, goes with 2 fingers that way. There's a whole bunch of different dice grips that you guys can do. You can do a stack, set, however you want. I have a couple videos out on those. And 1-6-7, come out 7. Seeing way too many of those numbers today. So that's an explosion of the left die and explosion of that right die. And I don't like where I put these dice today, so we're going to throw them aside here, guys. Keep on bumping into them. Trying to find a good table layout for me, something that shows up nice on the screen, but does not have everything in the way. And now one felt good coming out, a little bit long, but we have a 5-5 heart 10. So let's see if we can turn this day around a little bit here. That was a 10. So that's nice. One of the stats I have so far, and I didn't include that in the show in the spread in the beginning of the show today, was my hardways. And for using a hardway set, it's amazing. 5.6 mid-mo. It's amazing how few hardways I actually have. I'm actually well below expected on all of the hardways. So that's one figure. And I think a lot of that has to do with the single pitches that I have on mine. So they're talking about table services, Chris and Durcell. When I built my table, I did not make two different surface types. I know a lot of people do. It was just easier for me to do the one. Plus, it's hard for me to go to the other side of the table because of how I made it 3-3 hard 6. So there's the whole theory here that we talk about it and it starts happening. So hardways are showing here. So that's a 6. And for my underlayments, I have obviously the board. I have a layer of vinyl. Actually did a layer of felt first and then a layer of vinyl, then the table layout. And I would consider my table to be a semi-bouncy table. It's not real bouncy. It's not hard by any means. It's 5.6 mid-mo. That's our second yo for this shooter. A little bit long, a little bit to the right again, and another yo, 5.6 mid-mo. So that's an explosion of that right die. So that's 3 of the last 4. We got a yo. Shooter or shot roll number 7. And I really got to get that landing zone in today, guys. 4.26. Really got to zone that landing zone in. One of the 4 elements that we really need to focus on every time. But I'm veering off to the right quite a bit today, and I'm trying to consciously bring it back, but I don't know why it's happening. That was a little straighter, and that's a leaner, but we have a 2 on that one. Let's see if we can get that to come down. Nope, it rolled it to 6. It was a 3-2, so a 3-2, not a 3-6. We'll flip that 5 over. And we have a 3-3 hard 6. So that was the landing zone, if you guys saw that one, right where I'm looking for. So that's an on-axis primary. And that'll be our second 6 for the shooter. Roll number 10 coming up here. So they were talking last night on a photo show about betting. Apparently he did a rollout yesterday. He had a 37 shooter. And apparently our friend Nemo went all in right at the end and lost everything. 2-4-6. So they were giving him the berries a little bit last night. And 5-5 heart 10. So we're starting to hit some hard ways here. I think that's because we're starting to zero in on that landing zone. And that's our second 10 for the shooter. Roll number, I think my chip count is off here. I think I might have missed one or two, but that's why we're practicing, so we can get that stuff down. And a 4-1-5, no field 5. So that's an implosion of that right die. And that was our second 5 there. That one went way off to the right. 2-1-3, we lucked out, shocker. So that's an implosion of that right die. And that earns a red chip. And we're looking for the 2 and 4 right now, so we can get that small. We're looking for a lot to get the tall. And that was one of the conversations that came up on the Alfredo show last night as well, is if you play the ATS and the ATS hits, does your casino allow you to play it a second time on the same shooter? Put in the chats here, guys, what your casino does. Went off to the right again. 2-4-6, single pitch on access. It's our fourth 6. Chris does not have an ATS at his local. That's all they have here. We don't have fire bets or repeaters at my casino. So they just do repeaters then, Chris, or nothing at all? A little bit long on that one, and we lucked out again. 2-1-3 shocker. So that is an implosion of that right die, but we get another red chip for the 3. One of the things that you guys could do, keep in mind, I usually start my dice right here on that A. One of the things that George was talking about when he gets his dice grip is he always puts it off to the side a little bit, so that we can get the angle of his hand correct, and then he brings it back. So that's something to kind of consider also when you're setting your dice and gripping them. And we have a 1-4-5. This one's up tight against the wall, so that was perfect. This one's off by about an inch or two. So that's an explosion of that left die. And that is our third 5. So we have 3 5s, 4 6s, 2 10s. So a couple numbers are starting to show repetitively here. And that's just roll number 18. A little bit low on that one, but hey, we got a 3-3 hard 6. I think that's about our 4th hard way on this shooter so far. And that's our 5th 6. Now, what you can do if you want, and this is just a consideration, we have 5 chips on that 6. 2, 3, 4, 5. We could throw a red chip in there so we can conserve on those whites, and it makes it a little bit more tidy and clean. And we'll throw whites on top of that when we get to our singles again. Now it was a terrible throw, and we ended up with a 5-4-9, center field 9. It was terrible because it went a little long, and the dice appeared to separate a little bit midair. So that's a 9. Roll number 20 coming up. And this is the one I should be recording for my shooting competition. That would be nice. And a 6-3-9, center field 9 again. So that would be an implosion of that left die. So third 9. And so far we've hit 2 points. Working for a third one. Let's see if we can get a third point here. That one felt really weird coming out, but we got a 6-2-8. Felt like they almost slipped out on me a little bit when I went forward. I got an email this morning by one of our friends here, and that was the first 8, I believe. Yeah, wow. Got an email by one of my subscribers this morning talking about the Uri grip and how he had read somewhere, and I'm not quite sure how this works out, but they do the Uri grip, and instead of going like I do like this, they'll actually roll it this way, so it has a forward roll to it. So it's something he wanted me to look into, and I don't know how they're able to forward roll a Uri grip, especially using this style grip like this. And we have a 4-6-10, big bend on the end. So that's an explosion of that right die, and that earns another 10 chip. Going on roll number 23 for the shooter. It's amazing how we can go from these really short rolls to a nice roll, almost back to back like that. That was a little bit low. We end up with 3-5-8, single pitch on access. That's the second time we hit that 8. So we're still looking for 11, 12, 2, and 4. Good morning, Bam. So he either has hops or ATS. So the only tables I've played at that had had the repeater bet and the fire bet was when I went down to visit Arnell, and we played with Alfredo and Demon Dog Chris and Matt. Those are the only tables I've ever been at to have that repeater or fire bet. And I actually had to have Alfredo explain it to me when we were there. And big red, 3-4-7. So that was a good roll. Double pitch. That was a 24 rower. Okay, everything's all set up there. So I'm trying to figure out if it's easier when I do the chip rack to have them all leaning forward like that and flip them back when they hit, or if it's easier the other way. And I think I'm going to do it this way and see if that works out better for me, because I think I was doing it the other way throughout up to this point. So this is going to be roll number 59 for the day. And we just got done with a good shooter. Let's have another good one here. Dice split apart slightly in midair. We have a 3, 2, 5. So our new point will be 5. We'll flip that 5 chip back. Sounds good, Alfredo. Thank you. Did that file open up for you then, the second one that I sent you? Veer it off slightly to the right. And we have a 3, 2, 5. So that was our point, and we hit the point. There's a weird noise going on outside my house right now. Kind of weird. Sounds like a jackhammer going off. And 3, 4, 7. So whatever that noise was enough to throw me off. Double pitch. Let's go. And 2, 1, 3 shocker. So that's a come out loser. But that does earn a chip here. Sounds good, Alfredo. And we have a hard 8. 4, 4 square pair. I'll flip that 8 back, and our point is 8. This weekend coming up, 617. This weekend coming up, that's an implosion and an implosion, one of each. This weekend coming up, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing for shooting, if I'm going to be going live or not. I kind of play it by ear. I do know that I have to shoot the final video for the Badass Craps Move tournament. And hopefully we'll have a winner off for that one. I know that I have some other videos that I need to edit. 437, come out 7, double pitch. I'm doing a bunch of shorts. In fact, I dropped one of the shorts this morning. Keep the humor to a minimum there, Alfredo, after last night. But I put a short out this morning, and I have a couple more that I had filmed already. I just have to go through and edit them. And 4, 6, 10. That one hit the mixing bowl, and it kind of spun right around. So it's an explosion of that right die. So that'll flip the chip over here. So on Alfredo's show last night, they had Nemo, they had Vince. I think Magic Aces showed up a little bit. 415. Greg from 555 Craps showed up for a little bit. Who else was there? He had somebody in the beginning. Was it Sleepy? Was it Heath? No. No, it was one of the other Craps Nation people that showed up on it. That one felt kind of good coming out. 2-2 hard 4. And that was roll number 68. We got about 31 more to go here. 32. No. What was that last one? That was a 4. We have 4, 5, and 10. Yep. Okay. Veer to the right a little bit. 2, 4, 6. Single pitch. And a 5, 3, 8. Another single pitch. We're just going right down that chip rack. Slam and Roman, yes, that's the ones. Morning, Chris, Demon Dog Chris. That one veered off to the left this time. That doesn't happen very often. We have a 2, 4, 6, another single pitch. And that would be our second 6. So by the end of today's session, we'll be over 1,500 throws for the blue belt level here. 6-5 mid-mo yo. So that's an implosion of the left eye. That earns a red chip. And 5-2-7 out. Double pitch. So that was roll number 9. Okay, here we go. Let's get a nice long one again like we did a little bit ago. Veered off a little bit to the right. 2, 5, 7. And that one I kind of predicted to come because there was a small split in the dice and I should not have thrown that one, but I did. I could kind of feel it. Good morning, SJ. And what happens is when I get in my set and they split apart just slightly. I mean, I'm talking, let's see if I can replicate it without. So probably like this. You can barely see it, but I can feel that split. And I should set it back down when that happens, but I didn't. And we have 235. So our point is 5. Flip the 5 chip. Sounds good, Alfredo. Thank you. Send me a text later what time you want me to give you a call regarding that stuff. And we have 6, 4, 10. Waylon's best friend on the end. And that would be an implosion of that right die. Flip the 10 chip. And the right die split off earlier, peeled out earlier. We have a 6, 3, 9. Again, implosion of that left die. That left die, the red one, took off a little bit faster than the other one did. So we lucked out on that. And taking a little bit longer today to roll these out than normal. And we have a 2, 2 heart 4. That'd be the 4 right there. And a 2, 3, 5. So we're going to see if we can speed this up a little bit. I don't like the streams to go more than an hour, or much more than an hour. Plus, we have John Show coming up here. So I'm not going to do the chip rack for now, guys, just so we can get through the 100 throws and so we can get them documented and recorded. Again, like I said, I try to set it for an hour and I try to get 100 throws. And that one took off to the left there. We got a 516. Sir? This will be roll number 8 coming up. And a 3, 3 hard 6. So that 6 is showing. So that was our point now. So it's a new point. Now that was point made. And we have a 1, 2, 3 shucker. Come out loser. That is my goal, Duracell, is 100 rolls an hour. It takes me usually about 55 to 62 minutes to do it, somewhere in that time frame. It'll take me a little bit longer today. I think I'm doing a little bit more talking than normal. I was a little bit low in that roll, 2, 3, 5. Plus, I started doing the chip rack there, which slows me down a little bit, which for me does not matter to me, but it makes for a more boring show. A little bit low again. 1, 2, 3 shocker. This is roll number 12 coming up here. And we have a 5-5 hard 10. That one, if you guys saw the height of that one, if you're able to see the height of that one on camera, that was about where I want them to be. That was nice. Yeah, Crapsy would be nice. I really have not done Crapsy at all yet. I have not played it. I have not offered it on my live streams. I think there's enough other people that have been doing it. 314 Big Joe from Craftsmaster Journey. So that would be a implosion of the right die. Roll number 14 coming up here. And 347 out. That was a 3, 3-4. So we got 13 more rolls here, guys, and then we'll wrap her up. It's currently 2 minutes after 9 Central Time. John should be starting in about 3 to 4 minutes. And I know a lot of you guys that are watching mine go right to his show, and I do appreciate you guys showing up for mine. And 4-4 hard 8, so our new point is 8. And a 4-1-5. Left die stayed right up tight against the wall. That was nice. Larry, how you doing? I mentioned your show earlier today in the live stream. I know last night you had 29 subscribers, and hopefully you're towards the top of the 30s now. 6-4-10. And yes, I did subscribe to yours a long time ago. I think I was subscriber number 6 on your channel, I think. Something like that. And we have a 4-2-6. A little bit low on that throw. 2-1-3 shocker. And a 3-2-5, no field 5. And a 2-4-6. Single pitch. And there we go. Magic Aces. 1-1-2. There's one of the things you're going to learn about my channel is that if somebody says something, it happens. And that usually is me saying it. So we said magic aces, the magic aces show up. And I try not to say other things because they tend to happen. I was just talking about not having many, not many of the hard ways, and all of a sudden the hard ways start showing up. So there we go. I just said hard ways. Square pair. So that is one of the weird things for my channel. I have that theory. It's kind of like riding a mountain bike down a trail, and you see a big rock on the side of the trail, and you're like, don't hit it, don't hit it, don't hit it, and you hit the damn thing. And it's basically because you're thinking about it and you're looking at it, so it actually happens. And 1-5 mixer. So that was roll number 10. And we're just about that 100 mark. We're going to finish out this shooter, and then we'll call our quits for the day. I know this has gone a little bit longer than normal, and I appreciate everybody that is still with me. Now when my finger, the dice stuck to my fingers, 3-2-5. And there we go, big red. 3-4-7, double pitch. So let's finish it up right here. That was roll number 12 for this shooter. We have 99 shots in for the day. And Chris, thank you for doing that for Magic Aces. Great person, great channel. These are the results that Dylan wanted me to show again. Up before today, we had 1,442 throws. The good numbers on there is my both die on axis is at 71.98%, which is amazing. I guess if you're doing 55% or better, that's doing really good. The expected would be 44% on that. But the other interesting things is my one die off axis. That means an explosion of one dice. You look at those numbers, they're the same. 155 on the right and 155 on the left. So that one's kind of an amazing type stat. My both die off axis is almost half of what should be expected. So again, pause the video if you guys really want to look those numbers over. I'm going to be going through with Alfredo hopefully today sometime and go through and dig in a little bit deeper into those statistics. But hey guys, my name is Joe. This is my Craftsmaster Dice Shooting Journey. Let's make it yours too. Have a great weekend. Be